Welcome everybody to vlsi problems and solutions. Today we'll be discussing the modified detector. What is the logic or the state diagram needed to do the modified detection? Modified detector is a logic module that will determine if input stream number is if it is divisible by 5 or not. If it will output a flag if the number is divisible by 5, otherwise it should not output a flag. So in this slide we'll discuss the state machine logic about the how to do the modify detector state diagram. So the assumption here is that the input data is streaming in 1 bit at a time, and ms most significant bit is coming first. So so here I name the state names as S0, S1, S2 up to S4. They represent the remainder after division by 5. So S1 means the remainder is 1, S2 means remainder is 2, and S3 means remainder is 3, and so on. S0 means the remainder is 0, and that's when the logic should output a flag where out is equal to 1, representing that the number is divisible by 5. So let's start from the start state. At the beginning, whenever you get a 0, that means 0 is divisible by 5. So the state diagram navigates to S0 and outputs a 1. If you get a 1, then it navigates to S1 state. So the concept here is, because you're getting the MSB first and the data is streaming 1 bit at a time, from whenever you get a new bit, what it is doing is the new bit is either multiplying the old number by 2, or it is multiplying it by 2 and adding a 1. So if you get a bit 0, that means your old number is multiplied by 2. If you get a bit 1, that means your old number is multiplied by 2, and 1 is added to the number. So if you look at the input stream, if you get a 1, and then after that if you get a 0, that means 1 became 1 0, which is 2. And after that, if you get 1 0 1, that means 1 0 became 1 0 1, which is 2 became 5, which 2 became 5 means 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. So that's the concept. So if you see all the states here, like S1, S1 means the remainder is 1. And when you get a 1 bit in the S1 state, means your next state will have a remainder 3, because you multiply it by twice and add 1 on. If you get a 0 in S1 state, then your next state remainder will be 2, because you multiply by 2 when you get a 0. So if you similarly from S2, you get a if you get a bit 1, that means you multiply it by 2 and add 1, means S2 will navigate to S0, and if you get a 0, S2 will navigate to S4. So that is the basic concept, is to navigate through the remainder values. So similarly, if you are in S4, if you get a 1, you stay in the S4, and if you get a 0, you go to S3. So I think we need to spend some time thinking about this a little bit more, and maybe go over the state diagram multiple times to really absorb or understand how the states are changing based on the input stream of data. So if I just read through the states here, so suppose your input stream is 1 1 0 1 1 0, that means you got 1 S1, 1 S3, then you're back to S4, right? So now 1 1 0, from there onwards, if you keep getting 1, you will stay in S4, and if you do the math, it definitely means that once you're in S4, means your remainder is 4, and you keep getting 1, you will stay in that state. An example is, let's take number 4, and if you multiply 4 by 2 and add 1 to it, you get 4 times 4, 4 times 2 plus 1 is 9, so you stay in the same state, so S4. So from the only way to exit S4 is to get a 0, and that way you go to S3, and from there, depending on 1 and 0, you navigate. If the overall number is divisible by 5, then you reach S0, and that is where you output flag 1. So this is that's how you know that the number is divisible by 5. So friends, please spend some time in analyzing the state diagram more. It's not very intuitive, but definitely it works, and it is a solution to calculate the mod file of the input stream of data MSB first. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe.